Welcome you all for the session on economic system. In this topic, I am going to explain about the meaning for economic system and the type of economic system available in worldwide and the advantages and disadvantages of each economic system. I am going to begin with the meaning of economic system. An economic system is basically a process, the process adopted by the country in order to allocate its resources for the purpose of producing the goods and services as well as to distribute those goods and services which are produced. So this particular process, this particular model adopted by the country, we call it as economic system. So either the government is involving in manufacturing of goods and services and distributing of goods and services, or the government is allocating or providing approval for manufacturing of goods and services to the other entities, or else it is a joint thing, government and the other organization together is manufacturing. There are a different aspect is going to be measured the concept of economic system. What about the role of government, the intervention of government, and how the government is taking or considering all the people in that society for allocation of resources or distribution of goods and services which is required to the people. According to that, the economic system is differently classified. So the meaning of economic system is focusing on a country makes its own economic choices about how the nation will allocate the resources to produce and distribute the goods and services. It is not only the production of goods, it is also the production of goods and services, as well as those produced goods, how it is going to be distributed. Either the distribution process will be taken by the government directly, or else it is going to be taken care by the private people, or jointly they are going to distributing the goods and services which are required to the people. So likewise it is going to be measured in that the concept of economic system. And in this economic system, you need to understand the system is going to be defined. The process is going to be identified based on the method of allocation of the resources. The method of allocation of the resources, it means the factors which is required to produce the goods. So in this particular thing, you need to understand about what are the factors which is being used to produce the goods and services. We call it as a factors of production, or we call it as a resources. So these factors of production are the resources which are required to manufacture the goods and services are classified into four major categories. So the categories are land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship are the four major factors which can influence to manufacture the goods and services which is required in a particular country. So the land is about the place where the industrial process is to be conducted. The manufacturing process is to be organized, or the services is to be delivered, in which place it is to be conducted. The land. Labor is a force, is employees are being used for the purpose of producing the goods and services which are required to the end consumers. It is going to be taken care by the laborers. And the capital, it is the value of amount which is required to start the enterprises as well as the amount which is required to run the enterprises. That is about the fixed capital or the paid up capital as well as the working capital which is required to start the enterprise. Start as well as run the enterprises. This comes under this category of capital. And the entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurship is about the ability of the people to take the risk in terms understanding the market to produce the goods and services which are required to the people, to take some degree of innovation where they are going to bring all the things together which is going to meet out the needs of the people. So this particular process will be taken care by the entrepreneurship. So these four categories of resources includes the land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Together is required to produce the goods as well as to produce the services. And in terms, it is going to be distributed. For this, these four resources are essential for manufacturing of goods. And we are classifying the economic system into four major categories, which we call it as, the first one is a pure market economy, or otherwise we call it as a capitalism. The second one, pure command economy, is a socialism, traditional economy and mixed economy, or the four different classifications of economic systems, in which the first one is focusing on pure market economy is called it as a capitalism. It means it is a system that relies on the consumption choices made by the consumers. One thing. So the consumer will be the predominant to decide the goods and services to be required in the market. Second one, there is no government involvement in the economic decisions. There were the private firms are taken into the account of all production happens in the particular country. So whatever the value of goods and services are produced in a particular country will be accountable for the private firms. It is not the intervention of government. So in that particular aspect, the wealth accumulation to the particular group of people may happen. There is a kind of high level of discrimination among the people may also happens if it is like a capitalism. It can take the people who are doing business, the people with the firm, the people who are producing the goods may be in the position to receive the higher income rather than other people if they don't have any income. The kind of income disparity is also happens in the economic system. So this particular capitalism is also creating a wealth accumulation for the specific group of people may happen in that the particular economy, but the total economic decisions are to be taken by the private firms and there is no intervention of government to the manufacturing of goods and services, and whatever the goods produced in a particular country will be accountable for the private firms. And the consumer dictate what is produced and how much is produced and how much things cost. All the things are determined by the consumers. So consumer dictates what is required, how much is required, in which quality the products are required and how much they are ready to pay for buying the product. So this particular things are to be dictated or provided by the consumers in the market. And business determine how the products will be produced. They must be competitive in the market. So with that the competition, they want to serve the people with a high degree of customer satisfaction they want to aim. So they are providing a kind of a product which is competitive, which is relatively cheaper price. They are going to provide it in the market. And the people with the most money are able to buy more goods and services. It means a kind of disparity is prevailing among the people. If the government is distributing those goods and services, it means they consider about the low income category. But if the private firms are mainly involving to distributing the goods and services, they are not considering the people with a lower income category. So it makes further problem in the standard of living of the people. So the kind of disparity in capitalism is more compared to other economic system. So there are advantages and disadvantages are associated with the capitalism. The major advantages of the capitalism individual freedom for all. So whoever wants to start the business, whoever wants to produce the product, can able to possible to start their own. So it is possible. It's a one major advantage. And lack of government interference. Interference of government is not there in capitalism. So the private firms can fix the prices. Private firm can decide the quality and the quantity. Everything in the hands of private firms. And the incredible variety to choose from the market can be offered to the consumer. So the consumer who dictates who is going to be the determinant factor for what product is required for them. And the high degree of customer satisfaction may prevail. Why? Because the products are relatively available in the lower price and the quantity and the quality is expected by the consumers in the market. So the consumer satisfaction level is more in this capitalism compared to other set of economic systems. And there are disadvantages are also associated with this pure market economy or capitalism. The first one, rewards only for productive people. There are unproductive people. They are the people with low income may not be able to survive in the capitalism. And the second one, workers and businesses face uncertainty due to the competition. There are firms which is to be accumulated their wealth in the market is going to be profit over the period of time. The industry or the organization which is suffered due to the competition may suffer over the period of time. This remains continue in the market. There is no rehabilitation, there is no further remedial process for the sick units may not be happen in the capitalism. So the kind of disadvantage is associated with this. Either a workers or a business face a kind of uncertainty. If that particular organization may not be able to run, they are also reducing the workers or providing the lower wages. The workers also may not be able to go for other job. Why? Because they purely dependent on this particular industry. Not enough for the public goods. It means a kind of a product which is required, which is to be available for all the people may not be ensured in the capitalism. It is like, for example, of education for all, health for all, defense to be provided to the particular country may not be ensured properly with that the capitalism, and it creates a kind of unemployment in the country and make God against the market failure. The kind of things are the major drawback with respect to the capitalism. And pure command economy, or it is called it as a socialism. So in that, the pure command economy, or what we call it as a socialism, in that the government decides the need of the people, the best way to produce it and for everyone. So here it is considered, it is all the resources are under the control of government. Government is deciding what to produce, when to produce, how to produce, how the goods and services are going to be distributed to the people. So welfare of all the people are taken into consideration. Equally, the importance are given to all the people, what we call it as a socialism. The main goal of socialism is to keep the prices low for all people and to provide the employment for many. There is no chance for unemployment in socialism. Socialism is primarily concentrating on that the government is providing the goods and services, the resources are equally distributed for all the people in the society. One thing. The second one thing, the government is ensuring that the price of the products are relatively available lower cost in the market. It is not for the rich people, not for the poor people, not like that. For all the people in that the particular society may get the product in an affordable price. And the government wants to maximize the employment generation or the major things in this pure command economy. And the government runs all the businesses, control all employment and decide how goods and services will be produced. So there is no intervention of private people here. Here all the activities are taken care by the government itself. So there is no need for the private people to enter, to start the business, to run the business, to decide the prices, to make the kind of discrimination are not at all allowed in this socialism. So the socialism is primarily considered that the government will take part in all the aspects. Government is running all sort of businesses. It means a kind of manufacturing of products or providing of services. Everything will be taken care by the government. One thing. Then second one, the government wants to provide the employment opportunity for all the people in the particular society. The third important aspect, the government is deciding that how the goods and services will be produced. So how we can use optimal use of resources for the purpose of manufacturing the goods and services, which is to be taken care by the government, and the government decide who receives the products that are produced. So it will be decided on that particular basis how it is going to be distributed among the people and to whom manufactured that the product or the kind of a service. They will be allocating the people to produce the goods and services. The government runs the key industries. If sometimes the government is also inviting the private people to concentrate, private people to manufacturing the product which is required, but the least amount of product is to be given, but the prime area, the key area, it is like you can take the education, you can take the health. Likewise, the kind of key important areas are under the control of government, transportation including. These things are taken care by the government. Government is issuing related notification related to this kind of services. Even for some products are also being taken care by the government in order to protect the people from their unexpected things that happens in the market. Improving the standard of living, the government is holding on this particular aspect. There are advantages and disadvantages are also associated with the pure command economy or socialism. There are advantages or basic needs taking care of education, public health and other services cost very little if anything. So they will be taking care. So this education, health is available at the affordable cost and there is very little unemployment. It is not ensured for 100% employment in the particular country. There may be a chance of unemployment, but the chance should be very less in that particular category. So that we call it as very little unemployment. So these are the major two advantages are associated with the socialism, and there are disadvantages. The disadvantages are doesn't meet the wants of the people. What is the product is required in the market, because this socialism is not aiming to manufacture the goods and services which are required to the consumer. They are offering a kind of product, a generic product which is to be provided. Whoever wants can buy that particular product. If the product is relatively cheaper rate, it is available in the market. Lower price, it is available in the market. There is no incentives for the people. For starting up of enterprise, for running of enterprise, there is no kind of things are to be provided. Require a large amount of bureaucracy to monitor, to control over all the activities in the particular economy. Otherwise, it is going to be a trouble to the total economic system. And the new and differentiated ideas are discouraged in the market. They are not providing, not encouraging the people to come up with the kind of new ideas or different ideas, innovative ideas are not welcomed in that particular thing. It is given only importance for the traditional way of doing things. Traditional way of manufacturing the goods and services, but the prime thing is here they are concentrating to offer the goods and services relatively lower price. It is available in the market. And the next important system, we call it as traditional economy. The traditional economy is economic system is based on the customs and traditional. The traditions here you can take, it is based on the value, belief of the people. It is that the economic system is defined. So the customary practices and what the tradition that they have, it is like the kind of traditional system or the kind of traditional business done by the people based on their caste, that given more importance in that traditional economy. So it is together what are the particular work or the manufacturing of a product or offering a kind of services, it is in customary practices in that the particular economy, it will be followed. It is, we call it as traditional economy. So the allocation of scarce resources stem from ritual, habit or customs. It is by the values, by the caste or religion, or given much importance for that particular economic system. And it's like a barter system. It means trade, no money, which involved with this particular process. It is like where the goods are surplusly available is going to be exchanged with the goods which is deficiently available in that the particular market. Likewise, it is going to be used in that particular economic system. India has a caste system which restrict the occupational choices. So the kind of system, if it is being followed, we call it as traditional economy. There are few advantages of this traditional economy and there are disadvantages are also associated with this. Advantages or economic role are set or defined in that particular economy. It is like the consistent growth or consistent the kind of income output is generated with respect to this particular economic system. There is a stable, predictable and continuous growth may happen into the economic system, which can be maintained, which can be monitored easily. And like disadvantages, discourage the new ideas. There is no chance for new ideas. The traditional things are to be followed as long as possible. They are doing only the customary practices. They are not giving any importance to the new aspects or innovative ideas are discouraged in that particular thing. And lack of progress, there is no further improvement happens into this particular system. So whoever doing the work, as long as they are going to do the same work, they are not going to make any kind of diversification, they are not going to make any kind of expansion into their business system. And lower standard of living, so which creates a kind of lower standard of living among the people in that the particular economic system. And the last one is mixed economic system, is a combination of above three systems. It is a combination of socialism, it is a combination of capitalism, it is a combination of traditional economy together taken into the consideration as mixed economy. So in that mixed economy is a combination and some government involved, the customer driven, some government involves consumer driven aspect of economy is based on the traditional values or given more importance in this economic system. We call it as mixed economy. So you can take the mixed economy. What is exactly a mixed economy? It is the combination of a three, and one more thing what it is taken, few of the sectors are under the control of government for safeguarding the people, one thing. Second one, the few of the sectors are opened for the private people to start their business, enterprises, to become an entrepreneurship. There are a kind of importance are given to the people also. The third important things also giving the importance, recognize the kind of occupation which are under the customs of the people, which are under the tradition of the people, also recognized in that the particular system. So this particular system is purely taking care. Few sectors are owned by the government, few sectors are given to the private people to start the enterprises, and they are recognizing the people who are using the customary practices in their occupation. Also given much importance. In this system, also given importance to the consumer. Choices are also given much importance in this particular system. So together the mixed economy system is mix of all. The merits of all the economic system are together taken. This mixed economy system has been followed. In India also the mixed economy system is in rule. Thank you.